Good morning everyone, welcome back to the Finca in sunny southern Spain. Not quite as sunny as normal today. As you can see behind me, we've got quite a bit of cloud. So I'm going to be spending most of the day in the workshop. When it's cloudy like this, we don't get the charge we need. If we weren't doing anything, they'd probably charge the batteries up, the sun we've got, you know, to a sufficient level. But I'm going to take the opportunity to run the generator and get some steel fabricated done, some light fabrication, some jobs that need doing, been putting off. So now's a perfect day to do it. So let's have a look what we're going to do and crack on. So I'm in the bathroom upstairs in the apartment. You remember I made all these little bathroom accessory things. Well, this hook, Sharon's asked me if I could just make it a little bit steeper because it's a bit shallow for the towel and sometimes it slides off. Seems alright to me, but her wish is my command. And then I'm going to make two hooks the same to go on the back of the door here. That's going to be useful for us as well. So that's job number one. Job number two is the barbecue. It's absolutely covered in sand once again. We've got a plancha on one side and a grill on the other. Always on barbecues, these things that go over the burners corrode and rot and burn away with the heat and stuff. This one's not too bad, but you can see that one's going there, minging they are. So I'm going to make two new ones to replace those. Yes, lovely. So that's job number two. Not necessarily in this order either, by the way. The next one, job number three, is these horseshoes. These were actually horseshoes, pony shoes, donkey shoes, not sure. These were actually built into the walls, like sticking out. With the used to use of hanging things on. There's quite a few of them scattered around. These have come out of walls where they've not been practical or not been needed, or even we've taken the wall down. So I'm going to clean these up, paint them black, and they're going to be lucky horseshoes for our doors. We've already got a couple up already, but while they're there we may as well use them. This is on the bench. This is the cut-off saw. I'm stacking my jobs up here. It's on the bench because I need to change the cutting disc, if you remember. Last time I used it, it wasn't quite going through, it's reached its limit. So that's the only reason that I wouldn't do any cutting in here. It'll be going outside when it's got a new disc in it. Right, job number four, what's that? Number four is Thug Life's water ball holder. Look at state, what they've done to it. If you remember, I put it on a base the other week, which has worked perfectly. They've not knocked it over once, but they just managed to trash it in many other ways. So I'm going to clean it up and weld it up so it doesn't move. So first we'll bash all this stuff off it. There, thugs. And give it a blow off with the airline. They like to dig right next to it, so I'm just going to lift this up a little bit as well. Right, it's clean enough now to be brought in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just put a couple of tacks on this side, a couple of tacks on that side to stop it from doing that, and then a couple of tacks on this to stop that wobbling about, and then I'm going to straighten these up so the bowls sit straight. So safety glasses on, grinder. We just need to clean it up a little bit, so as we get the bare metal, so we get a decent weld on it. Same on this side. Do, and then just a bit. Start to spray the camera. And turn it around a bit. There and there. Now we just need to clean a bit off for the earth. Normally it's earth through the table, but it's metal and anything that touches it gets earth through that. Because this is on a wooden base, I'm just going to bear a bit of the metal back for the clamp. Easier said than done. I shall do it. Right, here's our clamp. It's set on there now. A strong clamp. That's it. Right, I'll get the welder ready. Okay, so we're all ready. Let's weld it up. You've got to be careful with this metal because it is quite thin and it'll burn through easily. Make sure you move your air hose out of the way as well when you're welding because it'll go straight through it. Okay, that's pretty good. That's his top one now. Didn't clean that up enough, it's burned through it anyway. Okay, lovely. Turn the welder off, turn the gas off. Remember, it will be hot as well. I'm putting back on the table now, we can live on there. Oh. Right, so we just need to straighten these up now so they're level. Bar. If they snap off we can weld them back on. Not bad, and this one. Right, that'll do. I'm going to give it them back now because they'll just knock the water bowls over without it. So we're back in a minute for the next one. Right, so I'm going to make the little hooks next and modify the other one. So I need to put a new cutting disc in this. That's all we do. Excuse me. Need a spanner to fit that. And these will do it. Try that one. Too big. Crikey, we'll get there eventually. That'll do. On the inside here, there's a little lever you press that locks this in place. There we go. Now we can undo it. That's it. He's gone. Pop him off, he comes out. So with the old disc removed, we simply put the new one in, press it onto its thing, fit onto its spindle, fit that back in. This has got flat sides on it so it doesn't spin, and then stick the bolt back in. And tighten it up. Once it's tight, slide that back over. Find the nut, which I've lost already. That didn't take long, did it? Oh, it's gone. Right, I'll find the nut and then come back to here. It was never lost. It's still there. It doesn't come off. It's got a slot in it. Nip that back up, take the lock off, that's it. Lovely. Right, so we can get the bits we need cut now. Get rid of them. Right, first of all, we're going to bend this existing one to just make it a little bit steeper. Stop the towel sliding off as easily. Thanks to the sheer brilliance and simplicity of this design, which was designed by me of course, I can just unscrew it from its fitting on the wall, little hole there, and I'm just going to put the soft jaws in the vise. These are like rubber faced jaws with little magnets on the back to hold them in place. The paint may split off it, it may not, and I'm just going to pop him in there like so, and just wind him up till I get the desired. Make sure it's straight. Make sure it's straight. Come on, get straight. That's it. Right. Just crank it up. And so we get a bit more bend in it. That's why you have a heavy bench, you see. Right, that should do it. There we go. That should be much better now, and we'll still get the screw back in it as well. And we've not lost any paint, so that was an easy one. Brilliant stuff. Right, so for the next bit, the next two hooks for the door, I've got two offcuts here. They've come off another job, surplus to requirements. I always keep them, you never know when you're going to need them. So that should be long enough once that's bent and curved into a hook. So I'm going to cut this part off there so it's the same length with my new blade. I've just put in my cut off saw, and right, so I'll get that done first. The next thing we need to do when we cut it, we get all these scaggy ends on, so we just need to take them off, round our corners off, smooth all the edges off on the bench grinder. We'll put a pair of gloves on because it will get hot. And switch it on, away we go. So there we go, one down, 3 more to do, so I'll get them done. The next thing I'm going to do is drill them through, because it's easy to drill them through while they're flat like that. My screws I'm going to be using are 5mm, so I'm going to put a 5.5mm hole through. I don't need to countersink them because of the type of screws that I'm using. So I'm just going to centre punch to give me a mark, the centre of each one. It's an automatic centre punch, but it doesn't always automatically centre punch. That's it, it's going now. Try that again. 1, 10, 7. Okay, so we've got our 2 punch marks, we'll get them drilled out on the old pillar drill. So, with our indentation, I've just made a little indent in it and dropped a bit of cutting fluid on it, clamped it in place with the mole grips, because you don't have to have a kick if it catches, hurt your fingers, and then away we just like that. Now I'll do the other one. Right, so there we are, 2 holes. I would normally clean them up with the flap disc, but because these have been painted already, they should just spray over, no problem. And maybe a light sand, a bit of fine sandpaper just to give a bit of a key, but I'm not going to do that this time. Next thing to do is to get the trusty press out and bend them. So we just put our 2 flat pieces in the press, in our special jig, and just crank it down. Giving it the full 12 tons, and there we go. It sings to me, this press. Take that out of the way. And there we go, they're bent so far. Can you see them moulded in the wrong place? They're bent so far, we want them a little bit tighter than that. All I've done is reposition them with the flat part of the thing now in the centre of the press. And we'll just lean on them a little bit, see what happens. I've never done this before. Trying to see. Oh, that might do it, yeah. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh, there we go. Pretty cool hooks. They will be. It should look nice when it's all. I'm going to have to clean them up now because the paint split off them and paint them. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with them. They should both be the same. Not bad at all. Can you see? Wonderful. Right, next. So next, I'm going to clean these up, the ones that are just bent, get all that old paint off them, give them a good key for another coat of paint, and at the same time I'm going to clean up these horse, pony, donkey shoes, so I can paint them all at the same time. What I'm going to use to clean them up, we get rid of the grinding disc, and I've got an 80 grit flat disc. This is a fast way of sandpapering basically. Right, I just need to get the generator going again, get the compressor going, and we'll get them cleaned up. The reason I'm running the generator, apart from it being a bit cloudy, is because these use tons of power, and I use the big compressor to run these. The other one doesn't cope very well with them. So what we're going to do, put our safety goggles on and just clean them up. Dead easy like that, takes seconds. So I'll get them done, and the horseshoes, and I'll show you when I've done them. So there we are. That's all nice and shiny, ready for painting, and the horseshoes not cleaned up too badly. Bit of paint, should look nice and rustic, I think, hopefully. So I'll give them a coat of paint now. I won't show you that, I'll show you how to put paint on things. Right, so while my paint's drying, I'm going to have a go at these. Look at the state of them. I'm going to make them out of galvanised sheet. I've got some bits here, hopefully they'll be big enough. If not, I've got a bigger sheet in the corner over there. So first thing I'm going to do is hammer them flat, so I can get the size of the steel necessary, the size of the sheet necessary to cut the outline out of, before I'm going to fold it later, but we'll come to that in a bit. Right, I'll cut the camera because of the noise. Right, so there it is, flat. Literally, I'm going to place it on top of my sheet and draw around it. It's easy as that. So I'll just do that first. Right, so I've drawn around it. It's not the straightest line, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut both sheets together with the plasma cutter. So I'm just going to line these up, get these sheets lined up together. It says one sat on top of the other. So then I'm going to use this piece of steel and clamp it to the desk. Where's my clamps? You can never have too many clamps, you know. Because I'm cutting, I'm going to use the metal clamps. Oh, where's my torch? And I'm going to position it so the centre of my torch is right over my line where I want it. So I can just use that as a guide for the torch, if that makes sense. One on there, on this end. Come on, and then this is making sure I'm clear on my desk, of course, because I don't want to cut through that. And that one goes on there. So that should be it. And plasma cutter, you can do this Get away with sunglasses with a plasma cutter. Right, I'll get it set up and I'll come back to you. Right, that's all running. Plasma cutters just use an electrical charge, electrical current. I'm going to use 40 amps and 65 psi of air pressure. So basically the amperage melts the metal and the air blows it clean away. Okay, all seems to be good. Let's have a go. We forgot the oh dear. It's so hasty sometimes to forget everything. We'll just put the earth on the table there. We can put it on our earth there. Right, we'll try again. There we go. Always check there's nothing underneath that could cause you grief and set on fire. It's not falling off completely because I didn't cut it all the way to the end. I'm going to flip it round now and cut the other way. Right, that's all set up. Same again. There we go. Welding ourselves together. Two pieces, exactly the same size. These rough bits round the edge, just run over them with anything and they just flick straight off, leaving a nice clean edge. How easy is that? So the next thing, I've just laid the other old ones on top and marked the air holes where they need to be. There are about 150 of them, but it shouldn't take long to whip through those on the old press drill behind me. So I'll get that done now. So there we go, didn't take long at all. Not bad, not absolutely perfect, but I don't suppose it matters. All that remains now is to fold them in half. Hey, how are we going to do that? With the bending brake. So I need to mark a line down the middle to line up to my brake, and we'll show you how we do that. Right, so this is a bending brake. There's a cheap one I bought, but it's been heavily modified to bring it up to scratch. What you do, you put your plate in with your line where you want to bend. Then you put this big piece of steel on top there. Position your line so it's up to the edge of the steel. Put the bolts in first. Right, so we put that, position that dead on centre where we want to bend it. That'll do, I think. Tighten these down. Get them in the hole first. Come on, get in. That's it. Move him again now. tighten them up. Nice and tight. Then all we do is take our levers and away. We want about a 90-degree bend in it. This looks like something there. Him out, do the same on the other one. And there we go, one barbecue replacement thing. All I've got to do is try it in the barbecue. It looks pretty good to me though. What do you think? So there we go, they're in. Rest of the barbecue needs a bit of a scrape. Sorry about that, but they should be good for a few more years now. I should have said before actually. God, that's bright again. Sharon's not been with me today because she's had an appointment at the dentist and gone seeing an old friend as well. So I've been on my own playing with my tools. But yeah, I'm going to leave that, the stuff I've painted, I'm going to leave it a bit longer, then flip it over and do the other sides. I'll show you that tomorrow because that's about it for today. We hope you've enjoyed today's video. I've enjoyed playing with my tools. So yeah, if you have, give us a like. Thanks to everyone for watching. As always, thanks to all the subscribers, and we will be back tomorrow.